Welcome to a Vanguard news video without the bullshit. Let's get started. If you're still in denial that V Premium format will die after this year, starting this June until the end of August, Bushiroad will be sending Shadow vs Evolve demo kits to official partnered card shops. Playing in this demo will let you get a Guilty Gear Strive promo card for Wish Wars, or an alternate art trickster for Vanguard. The fact that they are starting to promote Shadow vs Evolve during a mid-season downtime hints that it will probably take V Premium spot this upcoming Autumn Fest, since most countries can only run 2 events per day. Hope that V Premium in your country had a big player attendance from previous events, that Bushiroad deemed it popular enough to still host the format in future events. Speaking of determining the fate of your preferred format, Bushiroad's video game division will be hosting a presentation in Tokyo on the 27th of July. This is relevant because one of the games listed is Vanguard Deer Days. Either expect more paid DLC by getting DBT08 up to DBT11, or they stop supporting the original Deer Days, but re-release the game with all the previous DLC at full price. I'm seriously having Overwatch 2 PTSD. Sword Boys season continues as more new mechanics were revealed for DTB07. Training Tools is a set order card that lets you have 5 cards in your raid deck that include this card, a unit card without Kiwami in its name, and unit cards with one of each grade from 0 to 2. And this card is put face up in your raid deck. While in your raid deck, you put this card into your order zone. When you stand up your Vanguard, then put a unit card that isn't a Kiwami from your raid deck into your order zone, and it becomes in training state. While in your order zone, your Vanguard loses all of its auto and act abilities. While in your order zone, you cannot normal ride from hand and you can ride from your raid deck without paying a discard. And while in the order zone, you can put a card in training state from your order zone into your soul. If your raid deck has 0 cards and you didn't ride this turn, to ride from your deck or hand a card with the same name as the one you put into your soul, but with Kiwami in its name, then you put this card into your soul and get a crest card based on your Vanguard's race. For the record, this is probably one of the longest card text in this game to date, that I literally had to lower the font size just to fit everything in this slide. This card also makes the previous reveal from last Tuesday a bit pointless, since this card shuts down the entire raid deck until you get to your Kiwami unit. You won't even be able to draw from your starter if you go second. And this is also the first time that your Vanguard's race plays a role in standard. Uechigatana ability Kiwami is a crest card that prevents you from riding a unit with a different name from your Vanguard. While active, all cards with the same name as your Vanguard become grade 3 units with 13k power with 1 base crit, and gets twin drive and persona ride. It also gets an auto ability that while on Vanguard, you can pay 1 counter blast when it attacks to stand one of your rear guards, and it gets 5k power. And another auto ability that once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 1 soul blast when your rear guard is attacked to prevent all your rear guards from being retired if they get hit by an attack for that battle. If I got this right, you can even persona ride with a grade 0 card sharing the same name as your Vanguard. They really want players to buy out a shop's backlog of DTB01. And the second auto ability is a literal parry for multi-attack units like Clarissa, the grade 2 Obscured, and Vermilion. Tank top ability Kiwami is a crest card that prevents you from riding a unit with a different name from your Vanguard. While active, all cards with the same name as your Vanguard become grade 3 units with 13k power with 1 base crit, and gets twin drive and persona ride. It also gets an auto ability that while on Vanguard, you can pay 1 counter blast when it attacks to prevent your opponent from calling grade 1 or higher cards to the Guardian Circle from hand for that battle. And another auto ability, while on Vanguard during your opponent's main phase, all your rear guards cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. Funny how the Knife Squad get a guard restrict and protection from Gandiva's ability. Wakizashi ability Kiwami is a crest card that prevents you from riding a unit with a different name from your Vanguard. While active, all cards with the same name as your Vanguard become grade 3 units with 13k power with 1 base crit, and gets twin drive and persona ride. It also gets an auto ability that while on Vanguard, all your rear guards get 5k power at the start of your battle phase. And another auto ability that once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 1 counter blast when your Vanguard is attacked to reveal and add the top card of your deck to your hand, then your Vanguard gets power equal to the reveal card shields for that battle. While the long sword and knife squads protect each other, the short sword squad seems to only protect the Vanguard. But at least you get a card in doing so. Odachi ability Kiwami is a crest card that prevents you from riding a unit with a different name from your Vanguard. While active, all cards with the same name as your Vanguard become grade 3 units with 13k power with 1 base crit, and gets twin drive and persona ride. It also gets an auto ability while on Vanguard. It gets 10k power when it attacks, then you can pay 1 counter blast to stand one of your grade 3 rear guards. And another auto ability while on Vanguard. You send the top card of your deck to the drop zone when its attack hits a Vanguard to deal 1 damage if the sent card was a trigger unit. Funny how the second auto ability is mandatory, so if you're close to decking out, your opponent could just let your attack hit if it means you lose to it. The Greatsword squad sure got the worst crest card. Shinano Toshiro Kiwami while on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast and putting himself into your soul when his attack hits a Vanguard to draw a card and retire one of your opponent's rear guard. Unless I'm missing something, this is more like an early game card. Not even the crest card can help this hit. Monoyoshi Sadamune Kiwami, while on rear guard or guardian circle, endure at 3 or more damage, gets the intercept ability, 5k shields, and can intercept from the back row. So unless there aren't any better short swords to run, this is automatically going to the trash bin. Nagazoneka Tetsu Kiwami while on rear guard gets 10k power, and while on rear guard, he cannot attack if you did not do 3 or more attacks this turn. Why does Bushiroad keep making cards with self-restrictions? Nobody likes them. Another card to the trash bin. Hotaru Meru Kiwami once per turn while on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast and putting another rear guard in rest position when his attack hits a grade 3 or higher Vanguard to stand himself. And while on rear guard, he gets 5k power when he stands during your battle phase. He gets 10k power instead if you have an Odachi ability Kiwami crest card. You can attack with this card 3 times if used along with the crest card, thus leading to potential OTKs if critical and over triggers are involved. Kashukiyo Mitsuki Kiwami Sento, while on Vanguard or rear guard, is also regarded as Kashukiyo Mitsuki Kiwami. Once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay this card's ability cost with 1 counter blast if you persona rode this turn. At the end of the battle he attacked, you can pay 1 discard, then putting a card with the same name as this card from your hand or rear guard into your soul to stand himself, but his critical and drive check is set to 1. Then if you have 2 or more grade 3 Kashukiyo Mitsu cards in your soul, he gets a once per turn auto ability that lets you pay 1 counter blast at the end of the battle he attacked to stand himself, but loses 1 drive check. This deck is going to need one hell of a countercharger if you want to use his ability along with the crest card to do at least 6 attacks in 1 turn. Yamato no Kami Yasusada Kiwami when placed on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast to add up to 1 grade 3 or higher Kashukiyo Mitsu card from the top 7 cards of your deck. You add 1 from the drop zone instead if you did not add from your deck. And while on rear guard, he gets 10k power if your Kashukiyo Mitsu Vanguard was stood by a card's ability. Guess you know which rear guard you're going to keep standing with the Uechiga Tana crest card. Izumi no Kami Kanesada Kiwami, while on rear guard during your turn, gets 5k power if you have a grade 1 or lower rear guard in the same column as him. And while on the front row rear guard, you can put this unit to the bottom of your deck when your grade 3 or higher Kashukiyo Mitsu or Matsu no Kami Yoshiyuki Vanguard attacks to draw a card, then give your Vanguard 5k power. So you're losing a unit just to give your Vanguard 5k power. The only reason to give this deck your attention, characters from the Ufotable anime adaptation. Finally, Horikoa Kunihiro Kiwami when placed on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast if your Vanguard is grade 3 or higher to call up to 1 Izumi no Kami Kanesada from your deck. And while on rear guard, endure at 3 or more damage. Rear guard units placed in the same column as this card that aren't from the hand gets 5k power if you have a Kashukiyo Mitsu or Matsu no Kami Yoshiyuki Vanguard. Speaking of the Ufotable anime adaptation, they finally made this guy look less like an out-of-place butler to looking like he's ready to play Fruit Ninja with the enemy. And that concludes this Vanguard news video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments how many Japanese names did I butcher in this video, and that there's more to come.